my name is Kate, and welcome to the Inspire RN podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be tackling the concept of fear and how it blocks us from our true potential. So I have a question for you. When you think about your dream life, when you think about your vision board, what kind of resistance comes up for you? Do you feel fear? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel delusional? It really is amazing how powerful the emotion of fear is when it comes to blocking us from achieving our true potential, blocks us from achieving our goals. It is amazing. So I have kind of divulged a process and some tools for you to use to reframe your mindset and move through the fear. Because unfortunately, there is only one way through the fog, and that is through. So without further ado, if you are new here, my name is Kate Avery. I am a nurse. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a student. I'm an entrepreneur coach. And I have to share with you that over the last couple of years, I had to take a step back from my nursing career and really think about why I felt so misaligned. I felt so burned out, so jaded, just not fulfilled, not happy. And I knew that life couldn't continue on in this manner. There was such a pull between the stress of my professional career and the stress at home, and it was not going to work forever. So I just dived deep. I purchased tons of courses. I read tons of self-help books. I listened to so many podcasts, and ultimately the Inspire RN was born. So I have this podcast really to inspire you, to motivate you, to educate you so that you too can move through and develop a business that will help you live your dream life. I post on my podcast every Friday, most times, and on Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok at InspireRN. You can follow me here on YouTube or simply jump over to inspirern.com and check out the show notes. I have tons and tons of content over there that is more than able to help you start your transformation. I also have tons of offers out there right now. I have personal coaching, which is just me and you one-on-one. And in January, I also am going to have the transformation program coming. So if you are hearing what I'm saying and identifying with yourself that this is me, I also am ready to make 2025 my year. I'm going to develop or build a business that is going to help me create passive income so that I can work when I want to work and not be, forced to go in. Anyways, then the transformation program is for you guys. But let's dive into what we were going to talk about today, which is the blockage of fear. So just basis. What is a blockage? So a blockage is something that's developed in your subconscious brain. It's simply a limit, a belief that has been created way back there from repeatedly being told things, seeing things, hearing things, learning things. A blockage could simply be something that you developed because you learned from an experience, or it could be passed down generation to generation. So that is where the real work comes in, and I'll share my process. And simply, these are things that have been said to you on repeat. So maybe it's something like you have to be really smart to get into college, or you just don't come from a wealthy family. These are things that you will then start to run through your brain. And if you don't have the awareness, then you will just run on autopilot. And that is where the fear blockage comes through. That is where you are not living up to your full potential because you're on autopilot from someone else's beliefs, whether your parents or generations in the past. So this process is going to help you break those and then move forward through the fear so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. Again, fear is an emotion. We all know that. Ultimately, its role is to keep you safe. But there's a big difference between jumping off a bridge and posting on social media, which is why I said it amazes me the power that fear has over us in accomplishing what we want to accomplish in our lives. I mentioned the process that I have become aware of. It's not that I developed it. It's just I realized that this is the steps that you have to take in order to work through a lot of these beliefs. can be focused on fear limits that we have, or fear blockages that we've developed. So the first step in the process is awareness. Awareness is a muscle. If you are not aware of your emotions, you're not aware of how you react to situations, you're not aware of the thoughts that are going through your brain, and you just continue to run on autopilot, you will surely end up in someone else's dream, not in yours. So awareness is having the ability to question the thoughts, having the ability to step away and realize, ooh, I had a lot of big emotions about something that really wasn't that big of a deal. Why? Building the awareness muscle is the most valuable thing that you can do in this process, because it is the building blocks to your next step in the process. I want to remind you to give yourself grace, because there's a lot to unpack here. And if you're just starting out on your inner work journey, it's a lot. So, little steps. I like to say, in the day, I want you to take 2 or 3 situations that you realize, oh, that was kind of interesting, and just flag them for later, because you can use them in step number 2 of the process, which is figuring out where the heck the belief came from. Why do I have that emotion to the situation? Why did I think that? When someone said, oh, I want to make $100,000 this month. Why did I think that person's crazy as shit? Those things are beliefs, and they're holding you back from creating your 7-figure business, right? If you can't make $100,000 in a month, you can't have a 7-figure business. So the awareness key fits in to the figuring out what the heck the belief comes from. When you're doing step number 2 of the process, my favorite way to do this is by journaling. And it's very simple. You're just going to ask yourself why. And you're going to ask yourself almost why repeatedly. So maybe a situation is the $100,000 a month. Why do I feel that way about that statement? Where did that come from? Why did that person think that? Why can't I achieve that? And you're just going to journal down everything that comes to mind. When you're doing this process, there will be a moment where you feel like an aha. You're going to feel calm. You're going to feel like I have gotten enough. I have gotten far enough. When you do this, you do not have to get to the exact moment or the exact person who had this belief that instilled it in you. You just simply have to be able to get kind of to the core of the belief. And then from there, you can work on step number 3 of the process, which is reframing. Reframing has been a journey for me. Really, reframing is using the belief, whether usually beliefs are negative, but whether it's a negative belief or a positive belief, you're going to reframe it in a light. So you want positive, I don't want to say future language, but you want that thing to already be to you. So let's say your goal is a 7-figure business, and you have become aware that you had some friction, you had some resistance to someone saying they had $100,000 a month. You've journaled and figured out where that belief came from, that you couldn't make that amount of money. And you have a really clear idea. So let's say Aunt Susie always told you that it was really hard to make $100,000 and she never made it, and yada, yada, yada. Whatever the story is, that is your core of that belief. So your belief is you can't make $100,000 because you have to work really hard to make that amount of money. Let's just say that's your core belief. You're going to reframe that into positive light. So you could say, making $100,000 is easy for me when I'm in a calm and creative state. You want to already know that you have it, right? That belief is totally different. You could say, I'm a millionaire. You could say, having a 7-figure business is my right, is my birthright. all of these things, all of these ways of writing your language, and there's millions and millions and millions of resources out there on how to rewrite positive framed limits. But that's the simplest way for me to explain it to you. Take that belief, the core belief, whatever it is, understand kind of where it came from, and then rewrite it in a positive, futuristic, we'll say, language. Like it's already happened. It's already yours. It's not a big deal. And then the other kind of unwritten rule is focusing on the energy that it makes you feel. If you rewrite that positive belief and it seems crazy, you're not going to believe it, right? So you're not going to use that positive belief. You have to feel calm and confident when you rewrite the belief. So however you want to write it to make you feel that this is true, because it is true, you're rewriting that belief. That's up to you. So that is, I guess, my process. It is awareness, figuring out where it came from, rewriting that belief in a positive light. And then a mini is focusing on the energy that you feel from rewriting that affirmation. Like I said, it's been a thing. It's been a journey for me because I thought I was great at reframing language. And then I am currently in this mindset group and I got torn to pieces. And so just remember, this is all a learning curve. We're all learning. The only thing that truly counts is that you are trying. You are putting in the work. You are working it forward. All right? So remember that. That's all that really matters. Along with the energy, another way to help reframe your brain is to use affirmations, which is kind of what you're doing when you're rewriting your positive beliefs. You want to hear them over and over and over and over again. Just like you learned those negative subconscious beliefs, you have to like put in some nice ones in there. So think about joy and what's the movie? Crap. I don't even remember what the movie is. But think of joy. You want a lot of good in that belief system, the subconscious mind, so that you can start rebuilding your image. And reframing your mindset. So affirmations is a great way to do this. I love affirmations. I have actually started to listen to some in the car on YouTube. Just, it's very relaxing and it helps me to remember who the heck I am. So I have my favorite affirmations out there. I can send them to you. I will put the link in the show notes. Just put in your information and I will send you my PDF of my favorite affirmations. I have a whole podcast episode on affirmations, so I will also link that here. Or you can go to show notes and just search affirmations and you'll find it in there. But really, again, you want to constantly be bombarding yourself with all of this positivity, because the more that you focus on the positive, the more positive you will find, the more gratitude you will live in. And I can tell you from experience, that's why I probably am some crazy lady, but I'm not just some crazy lady harping on you. Like, this stuff really does work, which is why I teach it. Do I live my dream life? Not yet. I'm in a basement, but I'm putting in the work and I believe in my vision. And in 10 years down the road, we'll see. You can check me out on YouTube and find out what I'm doing. But that's the thing, is you have to work through the process. You have to work through the fear. Don't let fear stop you from achieving your full potential. So thank you for being with me this week. I will be back next Friday. We have some big things coming up because the transformation program, the cart opens on January 15th, and I am truly preparing for that. I cannot wait. If you are looking to make 2025 the year that you actually launch that business, that you launch that digital product and you start making money on your passions, what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled, then I highly suggest you join me for that transformation program. Here is your action step for this week. I want you to write down at least 2 situations where you are aware of how fear was blocking you from achieving something, or a situation where you felt really fearful for no reason. Write those 2 down. Figure out where they came from, where the belief is, how it's not really that scary, whatever the situation is. And then practice reframing some of those beliefs, reframing some of those thoughts. My suggestion is that you write those reframed thoughts down somewhere, whether you want to put it on your mirror like an affirmation, whether you want to put it in your journal and just rewrite them every day. But try that. Bombard your brain with the positive. I will, again, like I said, link my affirmations here. I'll also link some of my affirmation YouTube videos that are my favorite so that you guys can also use those. But I hope that you have a wonderful week and do your homework. All right, bye.